My child, who had severe autism and was nonverbal, completely recovered from autism and became neurotypical socially, emotionally, intellectually, and behaviorally. And it was without doing another ABA therapy like so many others do. I would like to share with you what we did to get my son better from severe autism and how we helped hundreds of other families. You might be wondering what makes us so different from everyone else out there who work with children that have autism. Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. What makes us different is we focus on the brain. We analyze and evaluate each autism child's brain once the families decide to work with us. And bingo, this is the key, so I hope you're listening. A lot of times, the autism child has a lot of bad stuff inside their brain. Most of the time, an autism child has tons of neurotoxins, chemical toxins, and many heavy metal toxins, and that causes their brain not to work properly. So we have to get the brain functioning properly. Remember, the brain is the engine, and we have to get the engine working right. Not only do we get the bad guys out of the brain, but we will show you how to nourish and feed the brain so it functions extremely well. And I will get into that more later on within this video. I want you to know what my wife and I have learned over the many years with all the autism experience and helping the hundreds of autism families is that it does not matter if you do the homeschooling with a one-on-one focus room or a playroom, or if you put your child into the public school with an IEP program, or even the expensive private special needs schools with all the ABA therapy. I'm telling you this to hopefully save you from a whole lot of heartache and pain and extra time in trying to get your child better from autism. It felt like we were sending our kid to an Ivy League school at age 3 with all the money that we were spending on him. Listen, if you do not get the brain working properly, your autism child will most likely not do well no matter what environment you put them in. Does that make sense? Here is the good news. The country of Jamaica invited us to come and speak about autism. In Jamaica, it was the Ministry of Education department, and we spoke to about 300 teachers and doctors and educators on the topic of autism. It's a beautiful country, and it was really a pretty neat experience. And we were able to give them tons of knowledge with autism. No need to travel overseas, though, to come and hear us speak, because I can talk to you right here in this video. You remember how I said we focus on the brain? Well, all the parents started asking us what we were doing to get our kid better because we were getting drastic improvement with our autism child. Even the autism therapists and the counselors were asking us because the other autism kids were getting the same training with the same autism therapies and by the same people as my kid was getting. But their kids were not getting the results like my son was getting. So what was the difference? It is the brain. And now I'd like to show you how we correct the brain. And we are going to look at 2 key areas. Number 1, neurotoxins disrupt brain function. And then when that happens, your kid cannot even function properly in life, even with all the ABA therapy you put them through. I know because we have already gone down that journey. Listen, we had great therapists and we loved them. And we loved the therapy and they helped us out a lot. But if you do not correct the brain, then you're missing a big piece of the puzzle. These autism children have tons of heavy metal toxins in the brain. And we're talking about things like lead, aluminum, mercury, arsenic, and cadmium. Those are the 5 big ones. They also have a lot of glyphosates, and these are the chemical toxins, which are coming from the foods they eat and it all comes from the farming. If the brain is only operating at about 10 or 15% of their potential, think about it. They're not going to do well in any autism therapy that they participate in. Can you imagine one autism kid's brain working well and the lights on, and all the other autism kids, their brain is not working like it should be, and the lights out? Well, that was the difference between my child with autism and all the other children with autism. And it came down to our approach and how we corrected him. So let's look at it. Neurotoxins. Here's an example of a lab test that we do when checking a kid with autism to see if they have any heavy metal toxins inside their brain. Not only do we want to get the neurotoxins out, we need to get the bad guys out. And also, we want to look at number 2, how to nourish the brain to feed it and keep it healthy. Listen, we are going to dive deep into this, and I will show you all of this and more in detail in my free webinar that is coming up. And you can learn how I got my son better from severe autism. You can click the link right here in the description below to get started. And remember, this is going to show you step by step how we got my son better from severe autism and how we helped hundreds of other children with autism just like him. We did it with our son, and I am sure you can do the same thing with your autism child when you follow our step-by-step process. You can sign up for the webinar right now using the link in the description below. And listen, if you're watching this video right now, that means that we have a webinar coming up soon. I look forward to guiding you and helping you in this autism journey with your child. I know it is difficult. Make sure you click the link in the description below, and I will see you in the webinar.